Hey everybody, it's Rolly. Sorry, I was trying to get into a different thing and just realized that I'm live already. So I just wanted to say, hey, how's it going? And hope everybody had a very restful weekend. And so I have been a little bit spoiled over the summer months. Is that I normally work every other Sunday, and I have had taken Sundays off, and so yesterday I forgot that I was back on my fall schedule, and so I needed to get into some working, right? So getting back into those routines is really important. So, and Mondays are always really busy, and but that's not a bad thing. So Mondays are just one of those days that I have going on. So I am super excited to be here today, and so I am coming to you guys with questions. And so I'm coming to you guys with questions and answers for both to do with loving acceptance of yourself. Some of the questions that have come in are specifically geared to Soulful Life Hacks that I introduced yesterday. So at least three ladies that are going to be joining me that are Soulful Life Hackers and that are going to come with us and talk about their experiences so that you guys can ask them questions, but we're going to talk and we're going to go through some of those things as well. So I'm super pumped about Soulful Life Hacks. Soulful Life Hacks is definitely something that I absolutely love. I enjoy my Wednesday nights, even when I am. Even when there's a whole bunch of other things going on, typically that is still something that I don't typically cancel. Very, very seldom do I cancel those sessions. Those are typically right embedded into the week, simply because I like them. And so right now those are on Wednesdays, but those they can change depending on number of people who are in the group and where it is that we want to be able to go from there. So, but yeah, so that's kind of within the two. So I'm just wanting to make sure that it is working, and it is by the looks of it. Do I have the sound off? No, I don't have the sound. Oh, it's saying that its content is not available. So does that mean, so I see somebody's eyeball on. Can you hear me? Aha, no, you can't. So turn off sales format. Okay. So this is the first time. Yes. Okay. So somebody says yes, but I don't know who it is. So remember to give StreamYard permission so that I know that who is there. And because I have no idea who that is, but somebody can hear me. So I have an eyeball. So this is, but this is funny. So the entire week I've been going on and double checking to make sure that people can see me and hear me. And today I didn't do that, and it kicked me into it kicked the format out. So just crazy. Facebook does such silly things. I don't understand. Okay, so I'm going to get started with questions. And so, again, if you guys have more questions as we're going along, definitely ask inside the group, and I will definitely answer all the questions that I can. And I know that Tasha will also be sending these out by email because I'm also typing out the answers. So Tasha's going to get that sent out to you tomorrow, I believe. And so that way there gives you guys that other opportunity as well. But let's get started with questions. So, first question. So, I would love to join, but groups make me nervous. And so I just thought that this was a really interesting statement that was made, and definitely wanted to, although we addressed it with a person who made that comment, I also wanted to be able to make that statement. So with the Soulful Life Hacks, and a lot of the programs that I offer are geared to people with anxiety. So don't feel intimidated by any means about having to do anything to do with a group. And so in terms of group work, the reason why it is so imperative for me to be able to push that push the group work and why I continue to do group work is because we actually learn from each other. We learn from each other, we support each other. And one of the things that's great is that we are not the only ones, right? So that's the part that's actually kind of interesting, is that we think that we are alone, but yet we are definitely we're definitely not alone. We are not alone on this boat. And so being able to have each other supporting us and understanding where we're coming from will allow us to be able to move forward. And I know a lot of things. Another thing that I hear as well is like, I'm super shy. And so I don't know if I want to talk in front of a group. And again, you get to know the group. So we become part of a family. That's one of the reasons why Soulful Life Hacks is closed with every season. So we have an opening ceremony on the change of the season, and then we have, and then we kind of move forward from there. So we have our introduction, we go through the icebreaker, and then after that, we then move into the rest of the season. And by the time that we have had 2 or 3 sessions, you're getting pretty comfortable with the people who are there, because we actually get to understand each other and we're in the same boat. And oftentimes, even though the scenario may look a little bit different, the situation is not much different between all of us. So like, that's something else that's like really important for us to be able to know, is that we're really not alone. We feel alone on this isolated island, but we're not necessarily alone. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. And so definitely let me know if that doesn't make things feel a little bit better. Let me know so that I can help address that as well. So the next question that I had was, I can't meet every week. Will this help me? And so, yes, for sure, it will definitely help you. It is optional when you attend, and replays are also made available. And although the ladies who join, who are in the group, they don't typically go to the replays because most of them attend the sessions weekly, but you don't have to, right? So like, if something happens that every other week is better for you, then that's okay too. You're going to put in what it is that works for you so that it allows you to have it. I'm available weekly because that is what I want to make sure. So that if somebody can only attend once a month, then that's okay. Like, if that works for you and that's the commitment that you're able to put in, then that's okay. But I'm committed to being there present every week, but you don't have to be there every week. That's entirely up to you as to what it is that you want to be able to do. And so right now, currently, they are Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. However, we will be looking at some other times and to be able to accommodate the different time zones. And so if you're like, okay, well, Wednesday nights I'm doing A, B, or C, depending on how many people we have and where we can shift them, then we may be setting up another date. That's the intention, is to be able to set up another date for another meeting time. So then you would have 8 days in a month that you would have available to you as to which ones would actually work for you. So the other question is, what's included in the Soulful Life Hacks? So what's included in the Soulful Life Hacks is there's 2 different payment options. So there's a quarterly payment option, which is $447 every 3 months. And there's the annual payment option, which is $1,497, so $1,497 every year. And so for both, so what I'm going to be sharing initially is for both, is access to the community filled with women who are going through similar struggles, group coaching sessions, which are available weekly to provide focus on your own journey, daily morning meditations and daily morning messages and meditations to set your mood and help keep you motivated, weekly meditation exercises to guide your affirmations, and open weekly meditation exercises to guide your affirmations and to open your mind and heart to your journey. I'm reading what was actually written by one of the girls. And so apparently I'm having some difficulty reading. And the monthly life hack and a seasonal divinity box that is filled with gifts that you can actually use to nurture every season. So that's one of the things. Those are the things that come for either package. But if you sign up for the annual, then you get a few extra bonuses. So if you sign up for the year, then you also get monthly one-to-one coaching sessions. So we have the group sessions, and then we can actually go in a little deeper with whatever it is that you have going on once a month. So that is also available if you are doing the paying annually. And so the annual is obviously a one-time payment, so you have to pay the full amount in order to be able to have access to that. And then you also have access to some special wellness training. So throughout the year, there's different things that I will throw out there. So for example, one of the things that I've added to Soulful Life Hacks currently is the Yoga Nidra that I do both on Monday evenings in French and in English on Tuesdays, and they're both done virtually. So you have access to either or of those 2 days. And also a free pass to the annual women's conference. So that is something else that you have access to. So the women's conference last year, we were able to do in person and do a hybrid model. So you can actually be anywhere around the world, or you can actually come and be in person. So like that, and we're going to be doing that again for this year. So you have access to that for free. And so that will be our 5th annual this coming March. And so the next question. So again, as we're going along, because I see some more eyeballs coming on. So as we're going along, if you have any other questions, then definitely please let me know so that I know if there's anything else that you want to know about it, or if you want me to clarify more on something that I do answer. What is a monthly life hack was the other question. So a monthly life hack is a life hack, which is a tool that we actually give to be able to kind of make things a little bit easier, or for you to be able to try. So, because again, remembering, take what you need and leave the rest. So sometimes it's like, hey, that works really well. So for example, if I taught refit, then that would be something potentially that we would put in there. Or if there was somebody that teaches it, then potentially under a movement exercise that they may be able to give us some feedback. So we've had people teach, I've had special guests that have actually taught yoga in terms of movement. I've had about nutrition. So we've had a nutritionist come in. We've had somebody who's an expert in breast health that has actually come in and provided some information. We've also done how to read your astrological chart. Human design is another thing that we've had offered as well. And some self-exploration and how to use a pendulum. So like there's a lot of different things like that are available in the life hack. So it's kind of, a lot of times it's geared to whatever it is that the group was looking for. For the most part, there's some that are already kind of out there already that are kind of like in the midst of being able to be done. And so, but those are the things that are actually, those are some examples of what a monthly life hack could be. And again, depending on the group, we may have somebody that says, hey, I really want to be able to learn more about A, B, or C. And so that is definitely something that we can explore. The next question is, I am not on Facebook. Mind you, while we're doing this particular recording, we are on Facebook right now because that's where we put the group. And so we have 2 different groups that are available. So this one here is the Holistic Wellness Lounge, which is open to anyone who is participating in any of my programs. And then we also have, but Soulful Life Hacks has its own group. And so we have its own group, and it's a Facebook group currently. However, one of the things that's going to be happening is within the next 6 months, I'm hoping it's going to be by December, but in the next 6 months, we're actually going to be, that particular group is going to be off Facebook, and we're going to be inside our members portal only. We've needed to make some adjustments to our members portal. So, and that's one of the advanced areas that we're going to be having. So I do know that one of our members is really doesn't like being on Facebook much. So we'll definitely enjoy being able to have access to the group outside of Facebook. But right now, she goes in and she checks to see how people are doing and staying connected. But they also form their own friendships. And so they support each other through Messenger and stuff as well. So That is now, how would I get access? So the other question is to do with wellness inventory. So how would I get access to, okay, why are you giving me such a hard time? I'm trying to move the screen so that I can actually see the questions. But the screen is being silly. Technology. You either love it or you hate it, or you have this love-hate relationship with it. So how would I get access to the wellness inventory online that was presented during this training? So during this training, we did the wellness inventory, and I showed you guys the graphs that are actually created by using the online version of the wellness inventory. And so as I shared, the cost of that is $100 for the year. So like it costs $100 for the year. However, anybody who's registered for this, for the loving acceptance of yourself this year before by the 16th, just in case, because I know that some people inside the Facebook group have also been watching. So if you want to register, make sure that you register if you want to have access. And then if you want to have access, just simply send an email to Tasha at info@rollialair.ca, and then you will actually be able to get then your email, the email that you're using. So send it from an email that you want to use, because then we attach that email to your request, and then it will be a system generated. So we have to give the system the email address that you're going to be using. So make sure that, so like if you're going to send an email, don't send it from your work email, right? So make sure that you're sending it from your personal email or whatever email you want to be able to have access to, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to access it. And so I don't suggest using work emails, simply because if you end up changing your jobs, then you're not going to be able to have access to it. So you want to use a personal email, so that, because it's system generated, so I have no control over it. It's done through the wellness inventory program, so that I have no control over being able to have access to that. So you want to make sure that you have access that way. So and that answers that question. So the other question is, I'm local. Can I participate in person for these weekly sessions? And so the answer to that is unfortunately no. This is a virtual only program, so Soulful Life Hacks is virtual only. However, if you are local and you have any private sessions that are available to you, then I do not have an issue with you coming in person. So that's definitely not an issue. So I'm just going to highlight that one because I didn't specify in person. So I'll make sure that I highlight that one to come back to it. So how much time commitment is this? So I'm looking for balance, but my plate is very full. And so this is a very valid point, right? So we have a lot of different people that are coming from different schedules, and we have so many different things that we have going on. So you have access to different resources. So so you can take the minimal amount of resources, or you can take the maximum amount of resources. So the resources are available for you to pick and choose whatever it is that you can and want to. And so when people initially started, then some people would take it all, or only take little bite-sized pieces, or would come and go and do the different things that they need to be doing. So we have some people that are members still, that they pick and choose the different things, but they don't attend any of the meetings because that doesn't work for them right now. However, when we first started, some of them did do that. And so it all depends on, you get to choose how much of that you want, whatever resources you want to be able to have access to. So we have the weekly sessions. And so one of the things that I always want to be able to emphasize, though, is that carving out time for ourselves is one of the biggest challenges. And that's for all of us, right? So it's easy for us to be able to want to be able to make changes, but how much of that are we motivated to change? How much of that do we really want to change? Because sometimes it's like, oh, I really want this to change, but I don't want to do the work, right? So it's entirely up to you how much of that you want to be able to commit to, and you choose what it is that you want to be able to make work for you. So I provide the different resources so that you can figure out how that works. This week has been great. How can I use this week to set healthy boundaries for myself? So this is a really great question. And I'm talking so much that I'm getting parched. Okay, so the now which question did I just ask you? Oh, yes. This week has been great. How can I use this question this week to set healthy boundaries for myself? Okay, so evaluating what we have in front of us is the first thing that we have to do as part of our goals. So one of the things that if you're still trying to figure out how to be able to get that going is that I have a how to set up an action plan. So action plans. So one of the biggest things, so like if you actually look, and I know that I shared that this week, but I'm going to go and take that banner off for a second. Because this statement here is something that I live by. So if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal. So you need to figure out what your goals are and then figure out your plan. And so one of the tools that I use is called action planning. And so it takes your big goal of like, what is it that you want to be able to do? So for example, I want to lose weight. And so, but you're going to take, I want to lose weight as your goal to being, okay, well, I'm going to start walking twice a week, or I'm going to, and you're going to break them down, and, or I'm going to drink more water, or I'm going to watch what it is that I eat, and being specific, I'm going to eat 5 more vegetables in a day instead of, right? So, and inside the wellness inventory, it also gives you those action plan steps as well. But I also have a workshop that is available for that as well. So that is, so those are the couple of things. And so I've been setting time each day. I've been setting time aside each day for this workshop to listen, learn something new, and I've enjoyed taking this little bit of me time. And so I want to say congratulations. So, and I want to say congratulations not just to the person who shared that, but to all of you who've been listening and watching. And so each day that we've been on, we've had at the very least, we've had 5 people on, we've had up to 20 people on at a time. So this is amazing. This is absolutely incredible as to how many people have been able to step in. So we have 50 people that have been registered. And for the ones who weren't on during the live, have gone back in and commented afterwards. So I'm really excited to see that has actually happened. So when we're carving out that time for ourselves, it then starts to become habit. And so then it's like, what else can I do? What else can I be taking the time to do so that I can actually do this for myself? And so, and I just wanted to say kudos to all of you who've taken the time to carve the time out, whether it be live or on the replay, and especially live has been more challenging because it's dinner time. Like this is, or at least it is for us in the Eastern time zone, right? So this is not the best time to where everybody's getting off work. Kids are home from school, spouses are getting home. Like there's so many things going on at this time of the day, but yet you've still carved out that time. So for each and every one of you who have done this and have carved time out for yourself, congratulations. And you need to give yourself that pat on the back because it is extremely important. So one of the things that I do want to invite you is obviously to Soulful Life Hacks. If you want to continue to carve some time out for yourself, then take advantage of Soulful Life Hacks and come and join our group and be part of something really wonderful. And like I said, we're going to meet with a couple of the ladies tomorrow. So we have Melissa, Amanda, and Christine for sure, who are going to jump on with us and share their experiences with Soulful Life Hacks. So I'm really looking forward to having these ladies join us on this panel. So to be able to share their experiences and what is it that that works for them, or what has worked for them and what they've enjoyed about the Soulful Life Hacks. And so there definitely are, and I call them our Soulful Life Hackers. So our Soulful Life Hackers are definitely, and they support each other. We're a little family and we really enjoy each other's time. And so now the next question is our statement. This is another statement. So I feel silly saying this. I already know many of the things that have been shared this week. I'm not sure how this would help me better myself because I know that I'm not perfect and there's always room for improvement. And so 100% I agree with that. And we are not perfect. And so, and you guys see me live. And so when you guys come to the sessions, you see me live just as this in the exact same way. So I don't script the things that I'm doing. And when I'm scripting, obviously I start to fumble on my words, but I don't do that. Like, you actually get me at my authentic self. You get the other ladies at their authentic self. And so that is something that is extremely important to me, is that authenticity. And so even when I pre-record things, most often I like very, very seldom do I do edits. And so if I'm fumbling on my word and I'm scrapping my paper and I can't find it, then that's pretty much what you're getting. So I don't typically edit is so I do some edits for different things, but for the most part, most things is like I'm recording and here I am. So like, unless I've completely muffed it up, then I may trash it, but it's usually a trash, not an edit. So for the most part, whatever it is that you're getting from me, you're getting that authentic yourself, because I think that it's important as somebody who's working in the field and working with people, is that you're not going to see me in this perfect state. So you've got like these cameras and makeup and like all these different things. And because we're human and we make mistakes and we fumble. And so, yes, if I was making a movie, then obviously there would be some edits. However, we're not making a movie. We're talking about our lives and we're talking about what it is that's happening and what it is that's going on. And so, for example, there was one session that I was having, and I literally swallowed one of those little tiny flies. And so then it was stuck in my throat, and I had like released. It was really difficult to be able to release and let go of it. But like I said, for the most part, I don't edit. So I may do a redo if I absolutely have to, if it was something that I recorded. But for the most part, it's 100% life. And so, and that's what I expect from the ladies that are in our group, is that being present and being active and being who you are and who you are authentically. And so one of the things that I always think that is absolutely incredible is where we actually see when people first start with our group as to where they are, and then as we kind of move through and who they become, right? Because then we become this little family and we see each other's quirks and we see the things that are actually happening and we see the different things that are going on and we know each other's cues, that kind of thing, right? So it's just great. And so it's entirely up to you how you want to be able to move forward, but love to have you join us in our family if this is something that you have really enjoyed and that you want to be able to participate in. And I've done a lot of talking other than the chatting and the communications coming back. But inside the Soulful Life Hacks, we actually do the communicating back and forth. So you participate. And so sometimes there's something that somebody says that is like, hey, I have something for that, or I know something, or I've tried this. And we do that kind of thing as well. So like we have conversations back and forth. So it's not just me talking at you, it's us building relationships and connecting with each other. So I think it's great. I love our little community. And like I said, I so look forward to our sessions together. So again, this is another statement. I'm so busy between working and looking after my girls when we get home. I don't know if I can commit to anything. So this one here is very similar to the last one. And so, but one of the things that I want to be able to remind people is that this is something that I hear very often. So as a mom of adult children, so like I had a child that had special needs. He had lots of difficulties in terms of, and I used him as a lot of examples this week. And so that was something that was really important. And then at some point when my boys were little, I then became a single mom and then really needed to evaluate how things were going. But one of the things that I had to learn, and I learned at a very early stage, was that I need to make sure that I carve out that time for myself. And when my husband and I got together, he actually helped me be able to have that opportunity to be able to carve time for myself. So he would allow me time to be able to, so like when I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to a fitness class on Tuesday nights, then he would look after the kids on those nights, or we would get a sitter or whatever it was that I needed to do. And so and I've participated in programs like this that have allowed me to be able to grow and continue to grow and be who I need to be for myself. not for anyone else, but for myself. So it's really important for you to evaluate how important is this for you. And so your kids need you at your 100%, right? So the kids need you to know exactly, need to know. Plus, and especially if we have girls, is that we want them to learn how to be able to care for themselves, right? We want them to learn how to make sure that they're putting their needs and the things that they need to, but we cannot give from an empty cup. And if we do not replenish ourselves and put ourselves first and take that opportunity, then we end up in burnout mode and we end up in not being able to care for our loved ones the way that we need to or that we should. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to figure that part out. The other question is, okay, so I am struggling with self-love and worthiness. This week has helped me to understand some of the areas that I can start working on them. I have the tools that I need, but I think there's a subconscious belief that keeps me from feeling unworthy. How do I move past that? So that is a really great question because you're not the only one. So we a lot of times, and it's not because we don't know, right? So like I know I am enough, but there are different days that it's like, am I really enough? Like, and we start to get into that, into those patterns, and not even realizing it. Sometimes we just get into those habits or get back into those different things. And so, my opinion is having that support system. So when we have a support system, when we start to sink, then it allows us to be able to help. We have somebody that helps to rise us back up again. Right. So, and we have somebody that gets to remind us that, like, hey, remember where you were 6 months ago? Well, this is where you are now. And like you've jumped leaps and bounds. And it's incredible to be able to see how that's gone. And so this is our sixth opening. So this is the sixth time that we are opening up. So we're working towards a year and a half of this program. And we have women that have been there right from the beginning. And so Melissa and Christine both have been there since the beginning, and they continue to come and they continue to invest their time and into themselves with this program, simply because of the importance of what it is they've seen in terms of their own growth. And again, sometimes it's not something that they see, and being able to sometimes have that reflected back is huge, right? So like I said when I was talking about this before, is our theme for this season is Stronger Me. And that theme didn't come because I decided that, like, hey, this is what I want them to focus on and I want them to work on. Is that when we set our goals at the beginning in the opening ceremony, is that everybody's messages all related back to what was that theme. And the theme was Stronger Me. And so I can't take it off. I don't think I can take it off, maybe, but I think I can. It's taped to my wall, so that way there I'm reminded each week what it is that I need to stay focused on, right? So like, so if I've got resources, it's like, okay, girls, this is something that I know or whatever, but like Stronger Me, right? This is the message that I received from them based on what it is that they have. So I'm just going to stick this back on my wall, but that's our theme. And so, and every time that we start the opening ceremony. So for September, when we start the next 6 months or next 3 months, that's exactly what we're going to be doing, is figuring out what are your goals? What is it that everybody wants to be able to do? And then we, as everybody's talking about whatever it is that they are talking about, then it's like, what's the common theme? What's the common thing that we actually want to be able to go through? And maybe it will be Stronger Me again, right? Who knows? I have no idea, because it really depends on where everybody's goals are and what it is that's happening. So the next question is, how can a person be more assertive to make themselves heard, especially if someone is not really listening to what they have to say? And so this goes into that communication. So like, I know that when we've talked about communication during this workshop, we talked about having the ability of being able to make sure that we are voicing the things that we're actually saying, and being able to have that conversation. And I know that, and this is actually, there must be something in the air, simply because I've had 3 different people that I've met with over the last week and a half, that have come up with the same thing, is that hey, I've already addressed this with my partner, but these things are coming back up again, and I thought we had resolved it, but it's coming back again. And usually it's coming back again simply because we have not been clear, or we've kind of set aside our limitations or set aside our boundaries. And so it just needs to be refreshed. But setting boundaries and setting clear understanding of what it is important for you needs to be heard. And sometimes we just don't listen, right? So like that's the other part is they may not be listening to us, but may not be listening to them either. And so there's usually an underlying need or desire that is needing to be met. So like if they're not listening or they're not hearing, maybe is there a different way that you need to be taking that approach? Is there a different way that you can address that specific situation? So and again, it comes back to those needs, right? So like when we use the laundry for an example, is that that I had used earlier is like, so in terms of communicating, my husband would have felt like, if we would have been using that as an example, my husband would have felt that for him, he's beating his head up against a wall because like, seriously, I really need the laundry to be folded and put away, and I can't live out of a laundry basket. And so sometimes we may need to shift responsibilities, or we may need to shift our priorities. Having our kids' rooms clean 100% of the time, again, we may need to be shifting our priorities. Not all of them, and not at our own demise either, right? So we need to figure out, and we need to be able to create balance. But in order for us to be able to do that, we need to figure out what's that underlying need for ourselves, right? So I need, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. So I need everyone to be in bed by 7:30 p.m., right? So like if we have little ones, I need everybody to be in bed by 7:30 p.m. because I need to recuperate. I need some downtime. Or another one, and I'm just kind of going with some of the things from when my kids were little, because I'm not sure who submitted this particular thing. So I'm not sure if they have children or not, but it really is being able to understand that part of things, right? So like I know that we use the example about having, so teachers, for example, having, I need to make sure that I've responded to students, or I'm done marking, or I'm done having conversations with parents by 8 p.m. so that I can then tune into my own children or my spouse or myself or whatever it is that I need to be doing. So there's lots of different ways of us being able to do that, but we need to figure out what's that underlying need for us. And is it something that's negotiable? And if it's not negotiable, then being able to express why that is not negotiable. I need this to happen. So I need you to be in your seatbelt when I start driving because I don't want you to fly through the windshield. Right. So, like, again, and being able to explain to them that kind of thing, right? So that they actually hear that clear definition of what it is that's happening as to why. So if that didn't answer the question, please ask again and let me know. And I guess I wanted to kind of go back to that one as well, is because the other thing too is, do you need to reevaluate the relationship, right? So like that is potentially something else that we may need to be looking at. And that wasn't my intention to say, but it was just something that, and I listened to my intuition and I listened to my gut. So I'm not sure if that's what the person needs to hear as well, is that maybe sometimes we need to be reevaluating our relationships. I'm looking for more meaning in my life. People don't understand me. I don't understand myself. So how can I expect someone else to understand me? So what I want to start off with is take things slow. Go back through these lessons, go back through the different things that we've talked about, and make some connections with people who are in your corner and can support you. And so you probably understand yourself a little bit better than you really think that you do, simply because we're experts in who we are. And so when we actually kind of dig in a little bit deeper, we probably know exactly who we are, and we probably know exactly, and we probably understand ourselves a lot better than we think that we do. we just get stuck in all the mumble jumble that is coming from other people's expectations or what we think society expects from us. The last question that I have is, how do I accept myself and be confident when I'm out in the world? So it's really, and I love this one because it's really easy for us to like dive in and do the work, or at least for some of us. And I guess it depends on what pain points that we're actually dealing with as well. But we can go in and we can have these conversations, and we can know exactly what it is that we expect from ourselves. And it's like, hey, I'm ready and I'm strong and I am enough and I'm ready to go. And then we go out and somebody may look at us differently, or somebody may sigh, or somebody may cut us off when we're actually trying to talk about whatever it is that we are passionate about, or whatever it is that we are talking about. But it's a learned experience. And so being able to continue to be confident in the face of adversity is practice. And so being able to find safe places to be able to start with that is something that's really important. So I know that, again, going back to relationships, is that sometimes some relationships are not the ones that you need to have, and that you may need to explore that a little bit further, and having those conversations. And so just really important for us to take a look at what's important and what's not. And sometimes we may need to evaluate our own expectations of what it is that looks like out in the outside world. So hopefully that answers all of your questions. And actually, I'm going to, in case you want to go and look more at whatever it is that Soulful Life Hacks, so Soulful Life Hacks, I'm just going in and putting in the link. And if I would have had it handy and ready, then I wouldn't have to type it while we're talking. But there's Soulful Life Hacks. So if you want to be able to sign up for that, definitely, or even if you want to be able to explore it a little bit further, then go ahead and take a look at it and see whether or not this is something that will help you move forward. And I really hope to be able to see a few new faces inside our group. And like I said, tomorrow we will have Amanda and Melissa and Christine for sure. We may have others, but we have 3 of them for sure that will be jumping in and coming on the screen with me. And you can ask them questions as well as, and of course, whatever questions they're not comfortable answering, then they will have the right to say, yeah, I'm not answering that question. But for the most part, we should be able to have a safe and honest conversation. And I'm also going to share with you guys the Seasonal Divinity box and give you guys a look at what are some of the things that have been available inside the Seasonal Divinity box. So again, if you guys have any more questions, definitely shoot them in here, or if you're not comfortable putting them on here, then shoot the messages out to Tasha or to Claire or Julia, and one of them will definitely help answer some of those questions. And I will chat with all of you guys later. Have a great day. Bye for now.